We're live. Welcome to the Field to the Deal podcast. Week 18. Can you believe it? It's the last week of regular season NFL football. It's been a lot going on this week, fellas. College football. We're down to the Final Four. Is it the same Final Four as like you expected? I'm curious to hear what CJ, Peter, and Scott say about that. Here he is, super agent Peter Schaefer's in the green room. It looks like he is working out once again because he is nonstop. I saw him on Adam Pac-Man Jones' podcast the other day talking about Cam Scadaboo. Super agent Peter Schaefer, how you doing?
Good. We're at the Combine Center.
I cannot hear you. I don't know if it's me or you. Let me check. Maybe it's me.
Hold up. Let me hold up.
I think it's you. I got my settings. I can hear stuff. Super agent Peter Schaefer.
Is that better? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
I still can't hear you. Technical issues, week 18. Peter Schaefer's probably out working out to keep up with his clients. He takes. I've talked to people that work with him and work in the industry, and they say really good things about you, super agent.
Well, I can't say anything. Can you hear
me
now?
Still can't hear you. I don't know if it's me or you. I can hear the sounds coming off of here.
How about now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Not negative.
Hold on, let me switch.
I don't know how to check your settings for you. Might be the mic. Let me see here. I don't have anything that can really help you out.
Let me switch phones.
But this is live. This is the fun part of doing live stuff. It's a beautiful steel building you're in there, Peter Schaefer. Is that a General steel building?
Can you hear me now?
It looks like a General steel building. It's beautiful.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Peter, if you can hear me, I'm going to ask you some questions coming up. And we got CJ Anderson coming on board. And Peter's trying to come on again. I think we got Peter. I just heard the banging of weights in the background.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. He's alive.
Yeah, we're at the Combine place. People are playing lacrosse, football, all kinds of stuff here.
Very nice. It's a very nice steel building there. It looks like a General steel building. It's a very beautiful building.
Called the Lax Den.
The Lax Den?
Yes.
I saw you on Pac-Man Jones' podcast a little bit ago talking about Cam Scadaboo. Am I saying that right? Scadaboo?
Yeah, well, CJ was supposed to get him for me, and he failed me.
I didn't fail you at all. He didn't contact me back. He decided to talk to Le'Veon Bell and other backs he named the other day.
Come on, Cam.
Obviously, I wasn't big enough for him.
Jeez.
Yeah, well, I think he's a nice player. I don't know NFL. You know, he's not. Everybody's trying to say Peyton Hillis because obviously
Toby Gerhardt. Toby looked very less than Toby Gerhardt, in my opinion.
Scott, welcome in.
What's up, fellas?
He's got the full jacket on. I don't think it's actually a nice day out here in Colorado, and he's got the full jacket on. Is it above 60 in his townhome there?
It's 60. It's 62. We're good. I lost track of time. I was finishing my reports up, and all of a sudden I realized I saw you text me. I'm like, oh crud, or email me. I'm like, dang.
Yeah, we all late.
I was going to talk to everybody about all my fantasy football adventures this year, but you guys came on and saved everybody from it.
No, there's no reason to be talking fantasy football and we're talking real football.
Right?
There's actually some really good football games this weekend.
There's a lot of good ones. I want to get to the Broncos and the win and they're in scenario and what your thoughts on that are, but what about the college football playoffs? Do you guys watch those games? I want to say this weekend. It feels like we've had 3 weekends in the last week.
Yeah, I had a chance to watch them yesterday. I mean, you got to get your team ready to play. 3 weeks off is crazy, though.
Yep.
3 weeks off is pretty crazy, but that ain't no excuse. You got to get your teams ready to play. And some of those coaches did that, and they fell short like Arizona State, and some coaches didn't get their team ready to play at all like Oregon, and they got blitzed.
How good is Ohio State, or was Oregon just not ready?
Both.
Like, what's that? This wide receiver Smith. I heard he was like Geno Smith's nephew. Is that correct?
Cousin or something, from what I heard.
Like he looks like he
Baby
looks like Julio
right,
Jones, right?
Baby Julio right now.
Right, a 19-year-old Julio Jones. Scott, did you watch Smith and the Buckeyes play Oregon the other day?
Oh yeah, 100%.
If the draft was today, where would Smith be a first pick wide receiver?
He ain't the first pick. Ain't no chance in heck he's the first pick. The thing about it is, and CJ and Peter understand this bigger than life. I've seen it for the last 5 to 8 years. There's so many wide receivers out there in the draft. You can take a guy in the third, a guy in the fourth, and they come and be your 2 and 3s. Why waste a pick on a receiver in the top 10? Because I've done it. I did it twice. I almost got burned with Michael Crabtree. But I took Josh Dotson when I was with the Redskins in the first, and it didn't pan out. I passed on a lot of good big old linemen, D linemen, pass rushers, corners. You know, it's such a deep position nowadays with the way the schemes are in college that you can see everything you want to see from receivers. You can see them run routes. You can see them catch tons of balls. You can see run after catch. You can see blocking. You know, so. I mean, if you're going to burn something early, like Marvin Harrison Jr. last year, everybody's saying he's slam dunk top 10, slam dunk, can't miss. And don't get me wrong, he had a pretty good year, but he ain't close to the rookie of the year, not even close. You know, so but the ones that are special, I understand why they go where they go. You know, but you figure if you're taking a quarterback in the top 10, or say you're taking the receiver in the top 10, who's touching the ball every snap of the game, and how many touches are the wide receivers getting a game? If they're lucky, maybe 10, maybe 12. You take quarterback, he's touching 60, 70 times a game.
He's special, though. He's special.
Speaking of the draft, though, I just saw a CBS mock draft that had Javante. Why can't I think of the names right now? I'm sorry. I'm not prepared. The Boise back going to Denver.
Jelani.
Javante.
Ashton
Jeanty. Dropping around the 20s and coming to the Broncos. Is that realistic?
I don't know why. Sean not gonna run him.
Yeah. Me, Bert.
Sean not gonna draft him. Sean ain't gonna run him. No. That's not what Sean Payton gonna do. If anything, Sean gonna probably do something to beef up the wide receiver room for Bo Nix. If they don't find a way to do that in the offseason and in free agency, you can always use linemen, like Scott would say. You can always use on the defense side of the football too. There's a lot you can do at that 20th spot, then go grab Ashton Jeanty, in my opinion. And I'm a running back.
Scott, take Jeanty out of the equation. Do you take a running back in the first?
No.
What does a running back have to look like to be a first round pick in your opinion?
Well, no, I shouldn't say no 100%, but the thing about the running back, it's more important in my opinion than the receiver. I understand the receiver stretches the field, it gets other guys on the other side of the field open up, they're double teaming them because this and that and whatsoever. A back's touching the ball in pass pro and catching the ball much more than a wide receiver is. Much more. Now, you know, guys
I just hear Scott. Give us some love. Let's go.
well, the thing is, CJ, as you're well aware, if you got a good back, that's cool.
Yeah.
You know, you go in a game, it doesn't matter the weather.
Nope.
You know, it could be wind, it could be snow, it could be whatever, rain. You know, if you got a baller, you got a baller.
Amen.
You know, and all of a sudden you got another guy on the field that's going to help you win games. And not knocking receivers. Don't get me wrong. I've been around some really good receivers and love to have them on Sundays. I love, you know, being out there and knowing they're lined up and playing, you know, but the same thing with running back nowadays, or the way it's been, which I think it's going to change back now. I think it already has changing back. Is it's a pass first game. You know, back in the day when I first got in the NFL, it was run first.
Amen to that.
To set the pass up.
That's
now
why I can name you all the running backs that used to rush for like 15, 1,600 that made me want to play running back.
Correct.
And 20 years later, play receiver.
Well, and the thing is, CJ, as you're well aware, with the way the offenses have gone, you know, in high school and college, you know, it's spread. You know, it's throw, 3-step, you know, shotgun, spread, you know, 2-step drops, maybe. Lucky if you get a 3-step drop out of them, and the ball's out. You know, so it's not.
Does Scott get a call every show in the is that?
I got.
This is
the busy year for this the time of the year for Scott. It's time to get busy.
Right. Right. Hey, CJ, did you ever have some of the end of the year incentives? Like where you're going into the last week or two of the season, and you're like, man, if I get
I got paid. Yeah,
and you're going to Peyton like, hey, man, audible to a run again.
I got taken care of, man. It ain't really your teammates. It's really your coaches and your GM. I would say your GM too. Like I've had obviously Elway wasn't really talking to us, but all my Coob, my running back coach Eric Studesville. See, you need this week. All right, let's go get this so you can go get paid. So I've had some good coaches, right? McVay, I had some good coaches who've done that. So
no, I saw this post from Sal Betts. Cortland Sutton needs 82 yards to earn $500K this week. He's done.
Let's go get it to him. Let's give it to him.
Let's give him the ball.
Yeah,
you get it. You got to figure, Rob. At times, not the GM. I would, and not taking a shot at the ownership at all, because I know they write the checks and all that. I go to the coaches, and coaches come to me, and we go to the players and say, we're getting it. No matter what. We're going to get it.
We're going to find a way to get you paid, because you only get so much money in this business. So
certainly. Well, and the thing about it, they're taking care of me. I need to take care of them.
Amen.
You know, plain and simple.
Now, do the bonuses like this, like if Baker finishes in the top 10 in yards per attempt, he gets an extra $500K as well.
That's good money.
Does that go against the salary cap? Like, how does it hit your cap with these bonuses?
You got to ask Peter that stuff. That's above my pay scale right there, partner.
That was your payroll guy to let you know how that hit the cap.
Yes, 100%.
There you go, Pete. Pete, you heard the question?
Hey.
But I'm back.
Hey,
we got a question for you.
Hey, did you get some goals in there?
I was picking up the balls. I'm back.
Are you busting some noobs in the cross?
Oh no.
So the question is, Pete, when a guy like me hit my sentence $500K, $1 million, does that go against the cap?
Yes. If what happens is, according to cap accounting, if you rushed for 1,000 yards last year and I put an incentive in your contract for 1,000 this year, it hits the cap right away because it's considered to be likely to be earned. If you didn't hit it last year, it doesn't count against the cap until you trigger it.
Got it.
So teams always will sit there and say, okay, what do we have to save because this guy might get it? You know, like the Cowboys quarterback is going to hit a $250,000 incentive. What's his name? Cooper Rush, right?
Cooper Rush,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And no way in the world after paying Dak Prescott $55 million were they thinking they were going to have to pay that $250 for Cooper Rush.
Yeah.
But so that did not count against the cap until he hits it this weekend. You know, the more semantic discussion is whether, you know, if Saquon Barkley has an incentive for 2,000 yards rushing, and let's say he needed this week to get it, but you're going to sit him.
Yeah.
As a team, you sit there and say, we're going to give it to you anyways, because, you know, we don't want you to play just to play to get the incentive, because, you know, that would drive Scott crazy because he only cares about the Super Bowl.
No,
Yeah,
so
man.
would
Hating
team,
on my man Saquon.
like if, you know, Scott and I are with the team and we're like, hey, we got this season wrapped up. We got our number one spot, CJ. We're calling your boy Peter. You know, you got a $500,000 bonus here if you get so many more yards. If you get it more than likely, you know, if you played in the last week. We're like, hey, can we just split the difference? Can we go?
No, you're gonna give me my cash. Why am I splitting the difference?
Split?
I'm asking, like we're not. Hey,
You just heard a GM on the show saying he gonna take care of his guys, and then you just went down and backstabbed me?
I'm a sales guy. I'm always adjusting the numbers.
Wait, no.
I'm a sales guy. But would I be like, hey, CJ, you get the week off. We're gonna guarantee it, but it's only gonna be 50% of it.
Nah.
CJ,
How about I play so bad we guarantee you get fired next week?
No. CJ, here's what I do. You want to see how we split the difference? Watch how I split the difference. That's splitting the difference, right, CJ?
Amen to that. Come on, man. I need that cash.
Ain't no split, no difference.
I'm just asking. I'm trying to figure out.
I'm just gonna tell you. If you say that to me, we just gonna go over your head, and you might get fired in the offseason. Scott might fire you for something like that. We're gonna go to the GM. Coach is tripping. Scott, we gotta get him out of here.
As the coach, they probably don't care about the money. They want to take care of their guys. It's probably some bean counter in accounting saying, hey, we could save a few extra bucks if we do it this way.
Well, no, there's people that care, that keep the books. There's people that care, but still, it's not about that. They have cash. Right? That's why they're owners. You got to take care of the players. Have to. And the coaches. You have to. You got incentives. You want the reason you give them is hopefully they can get them. In my opinion, and you want them to get them.
Right.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, no, 100%. Now, with Saquon, I mean, I get where they're coming from because last year with AJ, he got hurt before they played us in Tampa in the first round of the playoffs, and we just buried him because, he was hurt. He couldn't play in the game, and it was a knee sprain, PCL sprain or MCL, whatever it was, and he couldn't play. So I get from that standpoint, there's two sides of the business. Yep. That there's a player side and the competition side, and then there's a personnel and owner side.
Yep.
And if you got things locked up and the best opportunity you have is to have him healthy going to playoffs, then I get that to a point. But still, then why play him the first 16 games? If you were about him getting hurt, sit him out the last 6.
Right.
Making the playoffs. I mean, shoot, he walk outside tomorrow and go across the street and get hurt.
Yeah. Or the worst part where Scott probably and Pete, all of us really, us three, we probably seen more injuries in practice than we have in games.
100%.
Yeah. Wow.
100%.
That's a good point.
100%.
You get hurt in practice on some accident, rookie trying to do too much.
Certainly.
At the wrong time.
Hey, you can get, when you're my age, CJ, you can get hurt just trying to go down the stairs. Like, ooh, something didn't feel good going down.
Bust Achilles.
One of the things I heard, like when it seemed like it happened all the time to people I knew in their 40s when I was in my 20s. Like, it's like you see them walking around in a boot or like, what happened? Well, I got out of the car. I got up off the office chair and the Achilles went. I'm like, well, that sounds awful. And now that I'm in my 40s, you're like, you start, after sitting for a while, you get up like, ooh, that's kind of tight. Better take it easy on the first few steps. But
let's pray that don't happen.
Right. Absolutely. But guys, speaking specifically now with the Broncos, it's pretty simple. If they beat the Chiefs, they're in. Now, the rumors I'm hearing is at least Patrick Mahomes isn't playing. They're playing Carson Wentz. I'm guessing they're going to at least limit the time of some of their other starters if they're playing. We're 10.5-point favorites. Like, are we pretty confident we're going to, end the season with a win here?
Better.
I was just going to say, I hope.
You better.
If you can't beat the backups, you don't deserve to be in the playoffs.
You don't deserve to be in. If you can't finish the job, and think about Andy. I know Andy well. I worked with Andy in Green Bay when I first got rolling in this business, and he's going to rest his guys. What he's saying, they're not going to play. Now, Carson Wentz is playing for his next contract.
Absolutely.
I had a friend ask me today, go like, hey, how do you feel about, the Broncos, playing the backups at Kansas City? I go, is Andy Reid sitting too? Is he taking the weekend off?
No.
If Andy Reid's taking the weekend off, I feel a little bit better. But if Andy Reid's out there with the clipboard, I don't feel so great yet.
Yeah, their frontline guys aren't going to play, and again, it's the two sides of the business. It's do you rest them and give yourself 2 weeks off, knowing you're number one seed, It's kind of scary because, it's the same thing with preseason. When you get to the, back in the day when they had 4 games, when CJ was playing, the third game, you'd play him at least a half most of the time. Just to get the blood flowing.
And the start of the third quarter, sure.
Yeah. Just so they remember it and feel it, and at this time of year in practice, nowadays, it's you can't
do nothing.
Well, and you don't because you're worried about people getting hurt.
Right.
And I've seen a lot of injuries that are non-contact injuries in practices right in front of me that blow my mind. But the thing is, I think we saw with these bowl games, and don't get me wrong. I mean, college players are different than pro players. Okay, they're younger. They, all of a sudden they get a week off.
I mean, they're focusing on their finals, Scott. They were focusing on their finals.
Well, the college season is different too. College get 2 buys, then instead of 1. Usually them get 2 buys, and they only play 12 games. They don't even play 18 games. 17 games. They only play 12 games. So.
Well, and the thing is too, if you guys have seen, I'm sure you have. All 4 teams that had buys lost.
Yeah.
0-4.
Yeah.
No,
and not just lost, got beat up pretty damn good.
3 weeks off is a long time, though, man.
But think about it.
It's a long time not playing football.
Think about what Kansas City
and guys in their 20s, early 20s. They got their priorities. Christmas,
Kansas City. Well, their last game they played a meaningful game was on Christmas.
Hey, Rob. Yeah. Hold on, Parker. Who's going to win, the Broncos or the Chiefs?
Broncos.
Let's go. It's over.
It's over,
guys.
The Panther says it's a go.
Hold on, I'm logging into my DraftKings account to put the mortgage on that one. Hold on. But hey, like the last meaningful game for the Chiefs was on Christmas. So if they're not playing their starters or key guys on this weekend.
The Chiefs is different. Remember, they lost 1 game since February. Just remember that.
I get that, but you guys are saying the rust versus rest idea. You're talking about guys not playing for 20 some days.
Not professionals. Professionals is different.
Not going to be any rust there.
Not professionals. I mean, there'll be a little bit, but not like college kids.
Yeah.
Like what I was gonna say, like yesterday, the Georgia game. I've never seen Kirby Smart defense miss so many tackles. Like missing tackles, that is a no-no. Like I've never seen that from a Kirby defense, right? That they were like missing tackles. Like obviously they played solid on defense. Quarterback only threw for 90 yards, but they gave up too many explosive plays just because they couldn't tackle. But that was all throughout the weekend, right? Texas couldn't tackle. Arizona State couldn't tackle. Oregon couldn't tackle. Like that 3 weeks off, you don't tackle. It's tough.
Oregon couldn't cover number 4.
Couldn't do that either.
Well, no one can. But the thing is like CJ was saying. In the NFL, I mean, 17 games is 17 games. If all of a sudden you're playing 16 and you get 2 weeks off, the bodies need it. And professionals are professionals for a reason. It's a different animal than college. Mm-hmm. College is a bunch of young kids that are good athletes that like to have fun. And they're setting a certain structure. Each week's the same week.
Yep.
Then they get the mindset. Okay, it's go time. Okay, it's Friday. Now it's Saturday. Now we're rolling.
I look at it like this, Rob. If I was in that college football playoff as a player, so I got the Christmas break. I just studied for finals. I got 3 weeks off. I'm trying to go home.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm away from home, I'm gonna definitely go home and spend the holidays at home. So if I go spend the holidays at home, now granted, I'm gonna be back because I got to play New Year's Day. But I'm talking about the teams who had a bye week, who had New Year's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They had the bye week. So if I got the bye week and I'm home, I'm eating all type of crap. I'm like, it is completely different than what I am when I'm on campus and I got a training table and et cetera, et cetera. Now, me being a pro and I know I got a week off, I know what I need to do. I know I'm going to do some extra cardio that week. I know I'm going to be in the weight room a little bit more that week, right? I know I'm going to do the things I need to do to make sure that I stay right tip top. And then I'm going to practice hard. because I know I'm not playing this week. So when Scott got me on the scout team and I'm giving my backups the look, for the Broncos this week, and I'm the running back, I'm practicing hard, right? Not hard enough where I'm hurting myself or hurting my teammates. Obviously, I'm a professional, but that's just something I know, and I got to know a time being a professional that I would have never got to learn in college. That's all I'm saying. Oh, that's
Correct.
all I'm saying.
Correct.
Yeah.
No, that makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense. So for the Broncos to get in, we either got to win, or if we back in, the Bengals are going to have to lose on Saturday, and the Dolphins have to lose on Sunday. Dolphins play the same time we do at around a 2:00 game on Sunday. So we'll at least know one of the if the Bengals have a chance going into Sunday. But which one are you most fearful of if you're in the AFC? What team do you want to see make the 7th seed, or do you really care? You're like, if you're the Chiefs, you're like, we're number 1, we don't care. Like, are you more worried about Baltimore? What other teams are you worried about in the AFC? You obviously got the top ones with Kansas City, Baltimore, and the Bills. Are you worried about the Steelers making a run?
Nah.
No.
Are you worried
they're not playing good football right
No.
now. Like, you got to play your best football right now. That's what you're seeing in college football too. You got to play your best football right now. And a lot of those teams are not doing that.
Are you worried about the Texans?
No.
So then the 7th seed you're looking at, are you worried about either the Broncos, Miami, or Cincinnati?
Cincinnati
would be one that could scare me.
That quarterback special.
Quarterback is on fire.
Yeah.
DJ, I'm putting my aluminum foil hat on. It's the conspiracy theory time. The Chiefs are willing to lose the game to keep the Bengals out of the playoffs.
I don't know what conspiracy theory is that, but
that's an idiotic theory.
It's a conspiracy theory.
That's a Bronco fan conspiracy theory.
I've embraced the fanship. You guys are the experts. I'm the fantasy football guy. You guys are the real football guys.
I mean, obviously, it's a long shot for the Cincinnati Bengals to make it.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
correct.
Who Miami played? Miami played New England.
The Jets, I think.
Or the Jets? Yeah, I knew they played somebody to be like, but Miami can lose that game. Don't get it twisted. So don't get it
Miami
twisted.
can lose any. I'm a Miami fan. We can lose any game or we can win any game as long as it's not cold out.
But the long shot will be the Bengals. The control your destiny will be the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, not to have anything go on, just win.
Well,
right? Take care of your spot and win. But like I said, or like we said earlier in the show, if you can't beat the backups, you don't deserve to be in.
correct.
I mean, if you don't agree with that, then you're not being realistic with yourself.
Correct.
Right. Scott, you're the GM, and your coach backs into the playoffs or misses the playoffs. So they, by losing 3 games in a row. Like how warm is that seat for Sean Payton?
Oh, he's fine.
He's good. Fine. He just broke the ceiling. 9 games. The Broncos
right.
not winning 9 games with no Knicks this year.
And the thing about it, you don't have to worry about it. Denver will win. You wait and see. Denver will win. They're at home. They have to win. And they're playing backups. They have to. When you got a bunch of players that are hungry for it. You got a coach that's hungry for it. Coaches, you got a brand new front office. They're all fighting for the same goal. And if they would end up not making it, that would really surprise me. Really, really, really surprise me.
I think of what Peter says when they play backups. Like you don't know how Andy Reid's going to use Carson Wentz. I mean, strategically, you're probably thinking he's going to run the ball a lot, shorten the game, so his guys play less snaps going into the playoffs. Just on a logistical sense. But Andy Reid wants to win. He's a winner.
Of course.
He's planning to win. He's not. So it's like, how's he going to use Carson Wentz? And we haven't seen much of that, outside of a few snaps here and there. So not knowing what to plan for, if you're Vance Joseph going up against an Andy Reid with a Carson Wentz quarterback, what are you thinking? CJ, how would you attack that? Are you going like, hey, are we going to make Carson Wentz throw the ball? Or are you going to go, hey, don't let Carson Wentz win his, big contract on us?
I think VJ just sticks to what VJ does. I mean, you get the quarterback off the spot. Carson was a former first-round pick. Carson at one point was playing at a very high level with Philly. Now a little older. Pretty sure he learned a lot from Andy and Matt Nagy and Patty over there. But I think VJ does what he does: get the quarterback off the spot, put pressure on the quarterback, continue to play man coverage and blitz like he does, right? And like you're saying, you got Riley Moss and Patrick Surtain versus the backups. Like at the end of the day, I'm not. I was once a backup, so I'm not going to sit here and talk about like backups are bad, but we're all backups.
Hey, I could promise you this, Rob. VJ is going to bed tonight thinking blitz. He's waking up thinking blitz. He's going to come after Carson Wentz and and like CJ said, make him move around and make plays because he can't do it anymore.
Right, you just can't.
So he's like, "Hey Nick, go get him.
Get him. Anybody go get him. Anybody.
Yeah, anybody. We don't care.
Get him moving. Just get him moving.
The guy in section 109.
Is he coming out with a foam finger to get him? Like,
I'm back.
What? Scoring some goals on some noobs, Peter?
No, I'm getting stuffed all the time.
Hey, I was thinking about you and your thoughts. Like when there's not information, you don't know what to plan for. Andy Reid and Carson Wentz, we don't have a lot of information on how he's going to use Carson Wentz.
No, they run the same offense. They ain't switching. No, he's running the same offense, same plays. That's what the Broncos are preparing for.
Oh, my team builder word.
So what's your concern level going into this game, Peter? If you're the
Broncos take complacent because they're not playing their starters, but they're playing. It's a playoff game. I don't see it. I have no concerns. I think they're going to be just fine.
Very good, very good. Going into the college football playoffs here, we're in the Final Four. What do you guys think of the college football playoff system setup as a whole? Like, are you happy with the product we're getting with the college football playoffs, CJ?
I mean, you got to be playing your best football right now, and I think a lot of these coaches, it's new for a lot of these coaches. It's new for a lot of these kids.
Ball's over here, James.
So what you're getting right now, obviously. The coaches who have their teams ready to play, that's the teams that's going to win. Obviously, the rosters are the rosters, but like whoever has their team ready to play, ready to go, that's what's going. That's what you saw. Like that's what you saw. All James Franklin got his team ready to play, right?
You guys
got his team ready to play.
Rob, do you want to know who's going to win the college football playoffs?
Absolutely.
Alvin, tell them. Who's going to win the college football playoffs?
Who's playing?
He says who's playing.
Love it.
He's a Bowdoin lacrosse player, so if it's not on the final exam, he doesn't know the question.
So, but to finish up, but to finish up, just having that, like those coaches, those teams having those coaches having their teams ready to play, right? That's what you're gonna see. And I think we got a strong Final Four, so it's gonna be fun to see.
Scott, what do you think of the college football playoff system right now?
I love the fact it's 12 teams. I think it's going to go to 16, which I respect too. I hate the fact that if you win your conference championship game, you're automatically a top 4 seed. I don't think that's right.
Do you think they're going to change that?
Yes, they can't do it till 2016 because that's when the next plan comes up or next convention or whatever they call it. I just and not knocking Boise, and not knocking, the teams that won their conference championship or conference game championship. Congratulations, that's great for them. But still, there's the top 4 seeds weren't the top 4 best teams in college football. And you're sending Penn State across country to Boise and having to play Boise after them having to bye. And it's still fine. It's football. And that's, it's life, and it's like NFL. It's the playoffs. One year I was in Seattle. I think we ended up 7-8 or maybe
7-9, beating the Saints.
Yeah. I mean, and we beat the Saints at home.
Beastquake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they had like 13 wins.
Yep.
12-4
or something like that. Yep.
I don't think that's given the team during the regular season who was better any credit.
Do you think the NFL should do it differently then too? Is like just the standings?
I would, but it's not going to happen in the NFL because it's set up the way it's set up. But college, I think they'll change in 16.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Scott. Like Like, just seed the 12 best teams and call it a day.
Yeah. Would you want the college to do it similar to what the NFL does, where like the one will play the lowest seed in the next round where it reseeds?
But the one did play the lowest seed. 8 was the lowest seed.
I'm just saying, but like a reseeding, like where the NFL does it, where like the one will play the lowest seed and vice and down the line.
Oregon played the lowest seed this past weekend.
Oh yeah,
and got dominated. So like, I know that's what everybody was complaining. Oh, they had to play Ohio State, but I was like, if you did it like the NFL, the 8 seed was the lowest seed, one play 8, and they got scraped. You got to come to play. I mean, Dan Lannon said it in this press conference. He didn't. They looked unprepared. They was not ready to play football. That's just honesty.
Yeah.
They thought they was gonna show up and just come out and they wasn't ready to play. And you can't spot no team. I don't care if it's NFL, high school, Pop Warner, college. Scott will tell you can't spot no team 30 points and think it's sweet.
Correct.
Ain't no way you're gonna spot a team 30 points and think it's sweet.
Yep. No, absolutely. Texas, Ohio State on the 10th, a week from today. Right now, OSU's favored by 6. What are you thinking right now?
I think Texas played down in their competition against Arizona State. Because like they came out rolling, and then Sark got really conservative. It's one thing I'm not a big fan when it comes to Sark sometimes. Sark a great coach, but he does get conservative. But I will say this, against Ohio State, I do think they will play up to that competition. That defense will be flying around. It'll be a good game. I mean, they're going to watch the tape. They're not going to let 4 go crazy.
Right.
But Ohio State got a lot of weapons. You got to stop the run. The O-line's good. Pretty sure Scott got at least a guard or 2 that can probably go first round out of Ohio State's O-line.
Well, they got tackle for sure. The thing it's going to be unique about the game, I think it's going to be a hell of a game. I think it's going to be the national championship, to tell you the truth. Whoever wins that wins it all.
I said the same thing.
Texas has a damn good secondary. And they got a good front, too, on defense. The thing, I just finished them up before I start talking to you guys. That's why I was kind of late getting on. Quinn Ewers, I'm doing him as a quarterback.
Oh, yeah?
Damn. Solid college quarterback. Solid. I'll stop there. I won't say anything mean, but I'll just stop there.
we got the same eye test. Nah, we got the same eye test. I feel the same way.
His mom taught him if you can't say anything nice, don't say it.
I didn't say anything mean.
I've heard rumors where he may be switching over to Oregon next year and getting a heavier payday and staying in college.
Well, I know this. If he does not come out, he's not the starter next year in Texas.
Oh yeah, no, he has to transfer. He's going to start. That's for sure.
100%.
So
100%. And I'm not so sure if things start going south early next week, he's not on the bench.
Like if they're down by more than 2 scores at halftime, you think Archie's coming in?
Yep, Arch.
So
not Archie, it's Arch.
Sorry. Get my man name right, man.
Sorry.
You got to know that stuff.
Get my man name right, man.
Sorry, Arch. Going to the Penn State Notre Dame game on the 9th, the Orange Bowl in Miami. Notre Dame's favored by 1.5 over Penn State.
2 terrible offense. Last night I thought Georgia and Penn State offense was so boring. I mean, Georgia and Notre Dame offense was so bad to watch. This is going to be even worse. 9-7. Which is, I guess, is cool, but it's like, bro,
What's the over/under on this one? 46.5. Oh, we lost CJ. CJ.
You made him mad.
He said something not nice, and all of a sudden he gets disconnected.
You made him mad. You made him hang up.
Right? Sorry, CJ. I apologize for whatever I said or did.
It's me and you, Rob.
Hey, just like old times, Scott. Just like old times.
We'll hold it down.
Right? No. So what are you thinking of the Penn State Notre Dame game? You watched many guys from there?
You know what? Penn State's got a good defense, really good defense. Now, they lost a corner early in the year that was a really good player and missed the rest of the season out still. They got a pass rusher that's excellent. It's going to be probably a top 10, 15 pick. The thing about Notre Dame is I'll give them respect this year, and I haven't in the years past, probably the last 10 to 15 years, of being a physical, tough team. And now with the new coach, second year, I guess, They have a good team. They have talent across the board, on both sides of the ball, and of course, the transfer portal helped them out with the quarterback, 100%. But I think it's not going to be like CJ was saying, it's not going to be a fancy game or a fun game to really watch if you're like a big offensive fan and want to see points and touchdowns. But you're going to see a good football game. I think both of them will be really good games. But I think the two best teams are playing each other, Ohio State and Texas.
So I watched the Ohio State-Oregon game with some friends that are all Buckeye fans. So I think I was texting during the game asking if you watched this guy or that guy, because they're all Buckeye fans. Like, where's he gonna go? Ask Scott this, ask Scott that, ask CJ this for me. So Sawyer, the defensive end for the Buckeye. It's all good. I figured I pissed you off. I said something, I didn't say a name right, and he's like, I'm out. So, but Sawyer, the DN for Buckeyes.
Yep.
Have you done any film study on him?
I sure have. He's an overachieving, try-hard guy that will give you everything he's got every freaking snap. Is he really talented? No. Is he going to get drafted mid-rounds? Yes. Will he make it? Yes. I don't know where you play him. I don't know if you consider him he's not a base DE in a 4-3. Yeah. And
he can make a living.
The best thing he does is go forward. So if you stand him up in a 2-point, which they do some, but he's not a 3-4 outside backer either. The best thing he does is rush the passer, and he plays with a high motor, But he's not an overly big guy, So then big tackles in the NFL, they'll just laugh at him, They'll one arm him and just walk him back. But he's a damn good college football player. And that's cool. And that's what's cool about college compared to the NFL. You have guys, like the quarterback, Gabriel, phenomenal college career. He's not an NFL quarterback, not even close. Close. And he'll probably get drafted later on. Somebody will take a flyer on him and put him on the practice squad or whatever. But that's what's cool about college is guys like that can have hella careers, but they're not NFL products, And if they are, then they're not frontline products, And there's guys that are backups at certain schools. Ohio State, a couple D linemen, they're going to get drafted this year that aren't starters. They're going to make it, and they got a chance to be pretty solid players in the NFL because they're 6'5", they're 320 pounds, they got length, and they're just behind a better player, that's going to go higher than them in the draft. But still, I mean, that's what's so cool about college football is the fact that because 90% of them aren't ever going to play in the NFL. At least 90% of them aren't ever going to play in the NFL. Not even see a training camp. Not even see a mini camp. But still they're playing their tails off like Sawyer. That son of a gun plays every freaking snap. He don't stop down at all. I respect that a lot, but also you got to realize what plays in the league too.
No, that's crazy to think about. Like there's more NFL talent sitting behind him on the bench, but he's just getting the job done in college. Where at the next level, it's just going to look different.
Well, and the thing about it, Rob, is he's earned it. In the coaches see it in the off season. They've seen it since his freshman year. The guy's earned it. The guy does everything right, everything 100 miles an hour. It make people around him better, O-linemen better in practices, and then locker room before games, get guys ready to go, and that's really cool. That's what's great about football. I mean, I think all sports. I mean, I don't know basketball and hockey and baseball like that.
Well, it's similar. You have standout guys in college basketball that they're just not NBA talent. The game's too big, too long, too fast for them. But in college, they know how to, play the college game really well.
Certainly. Well, they're smart. They got instincts. Yeah. They understand how to play.
Yep.
Yeah, I tell kids all the time, man, especially coaching college now. I just tell them, like, as good as you thought I was undrafted. Like that's how good the NFL is. Like as good as you thought I was as a player, and how solid you thought my career was, I still went undrafted.
Correct.
So it's like Scott said, it is some. The league is a completely different animal. than it is from college. And college kids learn that real fast when the draft come around, or, training camp, mini camp, like kids who get into camp, they see the difference real fast. I mean, I noticed it real fast. And you do two things. You get on the right mindset so you can put yourself in position to make the team. Or Pete got some clients. One of my friends was a client of his, and he tried to be like some of the big time superstars already, even though he wasn't. That just who he wasn't was. He was an undrafted. Scott knew him. I mean, I ain't gonna say his name, but he tried to be like those dudes. Receiver Scott. He tried to be like those dudes, and he wasn't. And he didn't focus on the task at hand, and he bounced around a lot, and that's what make the league different. The talent and the mindset of the professionals, I should say. Guys like us. That's what make it different. So I tell kids all the time, like, hey, you might think you're that good, man. I went undrafted, and understand when you get on that other side, when you get in that league, they're not playing no games. Guys in them ain't playing no games. They're not like in college. You might miss a meeting, or you might act a fool, or do something, and your college coach got your back, and the president might have your back because you're the big man on campus. They do not care in the National Football League.
No. They do not. They do not. It's you got to figure when you walk on that, even on your own team, you walk on that practice field, you're trying to beat the guy out in front of you. You're taking food off his table, and the boys in the NFL, they don't allow that. The good ones, they're like, hey, hell no, it ain't happening today, buddy. You just sit back and understand. I get it's competition, but you ain't gonna win.
Good GMs like Scott, you're gonna see a whole bunch of players every Tuesday. So you better make sure they're not in your position.
Correct.
You pull up to the facility on Tuesday, you see players work out. You're like, hold on, what's going on?
What's that other one?
Over there?
What's he doing? What's he doing? Did you get the right address? Come on, like what's?
Ain't no doubt about it. Hey, CJ, you like this story? I used to have players that come to me Sunday night after the game. I go in the locker room, they'd shower up or whatever, and I'd sit around and talk to some of them. And they're like, what position are you bringing in on Tuesday?
Yeah. I ain't going to never forget my first time seeing that in Denver. I was like, dang, who we replacing? Me? Because that's the mindset. Like
certainly.
Always trying to better the roster, right? Always trying to protect the roster too. I know Scott used it for protection. Like they might work out a guy that might not make it now, but they know injuries happen. They can call him later.
100%.
But when you, as a player, when you see that, it just plays with the psyche because you see in your position being worked out, and not only that, you know those dudes, so you know he's not bad, so you know he can play. He's just not on the team right now because it's the unfortunate circumstances. Somebody was better than him, or business side, money wise, investments. They invest in the player more than they invest in you. So I'll never forget. Cameron Artis-Payne said that when I got to Carolina, he was like, "Man, when we was talking about." I forgot what back. He was like, man, we was talking about this one back. I wasn't tripping, but he said when they brought up your name, I was like, I better get my shit together. CJ. But you know that, like, I can look and I'll be like, damn, hold on, Scott, why are we working out more? Like, I don't care if Frank 30 or 35 or not. Why are we working out Frank more? So like it plays with your psyche for sure.
That's funny. Well, I've had the same thing, similar, but like different world. But like when I work in the sales world, and I still remember I was covering the front desk, like from the office area, and some guy walks in dressed in really nice. I'm like, hey, what are you doing here? He's like, hey, I'm here for an interview. Like, oh, what kind of interview? He's like, oh, sales position. I'm like, wait a second here, guys. Like, what's going? Hey, it's like I'm the sales guy here. Like, what are we doing? And they're like, no, we're trying to add to the team. I'm like, no, like, I better go sell something. Hold on, I'll be right back.
It's just so that's what that is. And a lot of these college kids, man, they don't get that. A lot of them got a lot of high hopes, and it's a lot of dreams that are crushed fast. A lot of dreams that are crushed real fast.
Well, and the thing is, CJ, you've seen it. I guarantee it. I've seen it. Peter's seen it. Rob, I'm sure you've seen it even with basketball. It's a new generation of kids. They all feel entitled. Like, no,
too entitled.
No, yeah, you're not getting nothing, mother. You come in here, you better come in balling, because you're not balling, you're gone.
Hey, speaking of guys that are balling, Peter's guy Joe Mixon. Peter, are you listening? We'll give Peter a call out here in a second.
Joe made a second Pro Bowl, man.
Yeah, we want to give Mixon his
got one more Pro Bowl than me. He can finally say something.
Hey, you know what? They have more games. It's a different league. It's, how many Pro Bowls would you be in if you were playing in today's NFL? You'd be running those cornerbacks over now.
It'd be a little different if I was in today's game. It wouldn't be saturated. Like, still in my world, it was still passing league, but it was still a lot of good backs.
Mm-hmm.
Now the backs are like
super top heavy. You got a few really good ones,
right? Super top heavy. But yeah, I'm happy for Joe, man. Joe deserve it. Joe deserve it. He was balling.
Hey, we're just talking about your boy Joe Mixon. How CJ's still just a little bit better than he is.
He got one more Pro Bowl.
Yeah, but to get a Pro Bowl right now, I'll tell you something. When you look at the AFC quarterbacks, how does Patrick Mahomes how does he not make it? Well, it's because they got Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen.
Yep.
Burrow.
And Joe Burrow. How you don't make it? You throw 26 touchdowns and 11 picks. That's how you don't make it. Buddy 15-1 if damn near finna play for another Super Bowl title. So
I don't.
Horrible, man. We don't want to go to Orlando. We just want to go wherever the Super Bowl is that year.
New Orleans, buddy.
New Orleans this year.
New Orleans, yeah.
CJ, someone asked me that day. Well, if that's the case, if those three guys made it, Patrick Mahomes didn't, which one would you want on your team as your quarterback? My answer is yes.
Right.
Yes.
That's a good group. That's a really good group.
We got Patrick Surtain and Nick Bonito making it for the Broncos as well, along with Mims.
Interesting enough that those are all George Payton picks, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And Vance Joseph coach guys. So, that's how you have to have it. Everybody's got to have a vision, but they have to get guys that the coaches can coach.
Is Vance Joseph going to be with the Broncos next year? Or is he going to be a head coach candidate next year?
He'll be a head coach candidate this year.
Sorry, we're 2025 already. Sorry, I'm still working on that. Is he gonna get any offers? Is he gonna get any real coaching opportunities outside of what he's doing?
The question is, what other 3 jobs are opening up? What other 3 to 4 jobs are opening up?
That's a good question.
You got New Orleans, you got the Jets.
Yeah, you got 3 jobs open. It's usually 7 to 8 jobs open up every year. But it's already 3 that's open. I don't see 7 jobs opening this year.
They're gonna be. You wait and see.
Think so?
Really? If we call it the over 6.5,
there's gonna be a lot of surprises in, huh?
Well, you got to figure. Sad but true. Possibly New England. Possibly Las Vegas. One and dones.
Well, Las Vegas for sure. I didn't think New England. That is shocking me.
Yeah. No. It's.
What about Jacksonville?
It's just gonna be open. Has to be.
Doug is done.
Yep.
They love Dayball, though. They're going to get Dayball another year in New York?
I think so.
I hope so, but...
Are they going to make the Chicago issue, like, where they give him another year, then they're going to bring in a quarterback. They're not going to be happy how he develops. They're going to fire the head coach, get a new OC. Then, the quarterback's got 2 head coaches and 2 OCs in 2 years. Are they just going to make the Chicago mistake?
Hopefully
not.
I
think that Chicago's looking for stability. They're going to try to get Ben Johnson, but I don't know if they can get Ben Johnson. And then they might wind up with Cliff Kingsbury. I know that right now Vrabel is interviewing with the Jets as we speak.
Vrabel, I like Vrabel. Vrabel, good spot. I like Vrabel in Las Vegas, if I'm honest, but that's just me.
No, I think Vrabel wants a quarterback. He ain't going to place without a quarterback.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, you need that. One thing, it's crazy. So so Scott, let me put my GM hat on. Would you trade Garrett Wilson and Sauce or Quiggy, not both of them, one of them, to get more to rebuild your roster?
No. You got young proven commodities? Hell no. Those are assets.
I don't know who else on the roster. I'm just.
Yeah, no. You got Sauce and you got Wilson. Hell no. You got perennial Pro Bowlers.
Well, then would you trade Quentin Williams?
No.
Getting older.
Nope.
So you're just gonna rebuild it, but you rebuilt through the draft. So anyway,
yep, 100%.
That's your thing anyway.
100%. Yeah, no. When you have a good young commodity that you drafted yourself and brought in yourself and developed yourself, yeah, you find
ways to build around them.
Not get
rid of them to rebuild.
Well, but what it shows, CJ, is you'll be well aware of this. I did in San Fran with Frank, with Patrick Willis, with Joe Staley, with Vernon Davis, with Sean Goldson. All these cats that I drafted or we drafted in San Fran, I extended them before the deals were done, of course. But it wasn't just the fact that they were happy about it and they deserved it, but the players in the locker room are like, shit, I do what they do.
Yeah,
he'll take care of me. He'll take care of me.
I got a question though. When you first got to SF,
huh?
It was straight through the draft. You didn't get rid of no veterans that were probably solid veterans, but you can go get the Joe Staleys and you can go get the extra picks.
I won't say names. I had a running.
You already had the picks.
I had 14 picks my first year, but I won't say names. But picks, boy. The first year I kept the running back and traded him to the Jets.
Yeah,
got a fourth for him, was a freaking steal. And then we had an offensive lineman was our highest paid offensive player. And a corner was the highest paid defensive player. And I cut both of them.
Right.
Done. And the players in the locker room understood this guy means something.
Yeah.
He wants football players. He don't want prima donnas. He don't want just
yeah. So Garrett Wilson obviously is mad if Aaron Rodgers stayed there. I just thought that him being you can go get some stuff for him now.
Yeah, the thing about Garrett Wilson, and there's a lot of good wide receivers in the NFL, but he's different now. He's special.
Oh, he can play. I ain't never said he can't play. He can play.
He's a football player through and through. He's just not just a route runner, good hands, quicker than fast type, whatever. He's an all-around football player. He's a difference maker. And you get difference makers, they're hard to find, as you're well aware. Hard to find.
100%. 100%.
Absolutely. Hey, the biggest game of the weekend, Vikings and the Lions. It's in a dome, CJ. It's in a dome.
I mean, they played in the dome all year.
Why are you saying that to CJ? Well, he played outside.
I know, but he's like, the Lions play every game in a dome. It's a conspiracy. It's a dome team.
They played 2 games outside in 17 games. That's crazy.
Right, so what's the big game? I'm going to pick it right now because I'm going back to shooting.
Vikings and Lions, Sunday Night Football. Lions are favored by 2.5.
Lions are favored by 2.5. All right, boys. Vikings, Lions. Who we got? We got Minnesota. We got a consensus for Minnesota.
Is it just because they got more lacrosse up there in Minnesota?
Yeah.
The question is, and Scott can tell you this, just being around football a long time. At some point, and I obviously played on a high power offense. Like before we was broken by, I think it could have been the Chiefs. We had 606 points. We were number 1 offense in the world. We went up to Scott and them and got our ass dominated in the Super Bowl 48. At some point, the offense got to slow down. I don't know when, but it's a lot of injuries over there for the Lions. And at some point, right now, they're scoring at will. And I know how that feels. 2013, you go back and look at it. Peyton Manning threw 55 touchdowns, 5,500 yards. We throwing the ball over the place. Scott seen it. But at some point, the offense has to slow down. Now, ours slowed down in the Super Bowl. I don't know when theirs are. But at some point, you can't rely on your offense just scoring 40 every game.
but thing is, CJ, I'm telling you, with Detroit, and I get the injuries, and that hurts you. You know that, of course. But that secondary can't stop anybody.
That's what I'm saying. Like the defense is just
and damn Darnold's rolling now. And you got Addison, you got JJ.
Right. It's gonna be a high scoring game.
Oh yeah.
The question is, like I said, at some point the offense just got to like, can Jared Goff and them? Now the good thing about Detroit, they can run the football.
Correct.
That's the good thing about it. Now they lost Montgomery, but they can still run the football.
But Montgomery's a big loss in my opinion.
Oh, huge loss. Huge loss. But
so who you guys got? I got to wrap this up here.
Vikings,
CJ. Just straight up, no points. Who you got?
I like Minnesota on the road too. I almost thought about going against Scott. I like Minnesota on the road too.
Lions, boo!
I like Minnesota going on the road too.
Man, my Lions are finally good, and you guys are hating on them.
Nah, they're still okay. Don't worry. With
boo!
They'll play their tails off now. They'll show up and play now.
Scott, right? When you can't cover. And you finna come play one of the best receivers on the planet.
Justin,
quarterback is hot.
Yep.
Like Kevin O'Connell's calling his ass. Like,
and they have no pass rush.
Like the defense is non-existent in Detroit right now.
It's Detroit. It's just Detroit. So, guys, I appreciate the time today. We'll talk here soon. Let's go, okay? Let's go Lions. Let's go Buckeyes. I can't believe I just said that out loud. Let's go.
What about Buccaneers?
Settle down.